where we got a couple lawyers standing by, and I don't want to get sued, so we're just going to get them on here. We have attorney Tom Fisher, attorney Rachel Zuzu, who are kind of becoming regulars on the link here. And we're going to bring on your client as you had filed in federal court yesterday, guys. Tom Pinehop, who's the owner of the Shady Lady and Live House. So we got a bunch of small business owners behind you guys. So we're going to get on, talk about this case with the lawyers, maybe get a word from Tom, and then we'll let you guys go because I'm pretty sure everybody wants to be your client. And then we'll fold it into the small businesses. I'm thinking Bree and I need to get like a commission,
Retainer.
a small token of appreciation. Like, where did I be?
Retainer.
Right on. So good morning, Tom and Rachel and Tom Pinehop. Will bring these guys. They're on.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes.
Morning.
Good morning,
Good
Tom.
morning.
I guess just first, tell us what you filed in the district court yesterday, guys, on the federal.
Well, we filed a complaint against the governor and Lou Leon Guerrero. They're the same person, but they're wearing two hats. And we filed against Art San Augustine and the director of the Department of Public Health and Social Services. Bottom line, we're trying to get the economy open. We filed based on a few theories: equal protection, takings clause, and due process. All these business owners, this array that we see before us, they have lost a tremendous amount of money. It was taken from them, and they are continuing to lose the money. Every day these people are shut, the government's taking revenue from them. So we want them to be compensated. We want the businesses to be allowed to open up. Bottom line, it's difficult to see a rational difference between, say, Home Depot and any other business that is now closed. If you go into Home Depot, you have to social distance. If you go into Home Depot, you have to keep a mask on. Why can't you go into Live House and socially distant and keep a mask on? Doesn't make any sense. These people are as capable of enforcing public health standards for safety and precaution as anyone else. So we've gone into federal court alleging these constitutional violations, and we look forward to succeeding on these.
What is your reaction, though, from the governor's office after you filed this? We got a comment from Adelup, and they were saying that, under the laws of Guam and the Organic Act, the governor has the legal authority, moral obligation to save lives and prevent the outright collapse of our healthcare system. We're focused on that effort and remain confident that the courts will acknowledge these facts. We will reopen as soon as it is reasonable to do so, but that decision will be based on data that demonstrates that community spread can be contained and that our hospitals have the capacity to treat those who need it. Until then, no one's life or livelihood will be safe. What is your reaction to that comment from Adelup?
Well, my reaction to that is, I like this phrase reasonable. When is the governor going to determine that it's reasonable to reopen? This week? Next month? Sometime after the election? Bottom line, the governor doesn't have the authority to contravene the Constitution of the United States and the Organic Act. She doesn't have that authority, thank goodness, and no governor does. We are a nation founded upon the Constitution of the United States and here on the island, the Organic Act as well. And Lilian Guerrero simply does not have the authority to violate the Constitution. So that's my reaction.
Let's take it over to your client, Tom. So you're basically saying that if Home Depot was open during peak or one, people should be able to go to happy hour at a number of your bars, right? That's kind of the argument here.
Thank you, Chris, for having us. Well, first and foremost, and let me reach out a little further back. Look, first and foremost, I want to send condolences to the families and their loved ones that lost a family member. I think that we need to show that respect. And, myself, my family back overseas, we lost a family member. So I really know how it feels. And besides losing a family member early on, I think it was beginning of April already, now we are about to lose the business. So, I don't have much left. Maybe the happy hour example of yours is probably not the best, to be honest. Look, we're not in denial of the virus. Obviously it's part of of all the humans on the planet, right? And everyone is struggling, but there needs to be a fair chance for us to pay our bills, and we can continue after Corona. Look, it's been 196 days, 196 days, Chris, without a penny and without any help. We have a right to support our families, our friends, our workers. I get great messages from our bartenders, from our bar backs, from cooks, from people in the industry, from my hairdresser, from my dog groomer, from owners that have food trucks and restaurants, of course. We are suffering, we're hurting, and we have been peacefully protesting out there early on. We put our chairs out street side to show that we are here. Please don't forget about us. And we have been totally neglected and forgotten in all of this. Trust me, there's all of these business owners, and we don't want to be marked as having a privileged life and having a fancy life. So look, many of us work 10, 14 hours a day and are happy to be part of the community and pay our employees and take good care of them and treat them well. But physical health, Chris, physical health and mental health, it got to go hand in hand. And the medical side of things and the economic side of things, we cannot pick and choose one over another. It has to be strong together equally. And I think we have been left out for so long, 196 days with high commercial bills. And look how many have closed already. I computed a list here of 50 or 55 businesses that have closed already, and many more are to come. I can assure you that. So here we are. You leave us no chance. We have talked about it. I was on your show. Thank you for that also previously, and nothing has happened. It's nobody's hearing us. So we didn't want to do this, but if to have to go that way, then we'll. It's our last stand. We're on our last leg.
Right. I did want to ask though, you say that you've suffered financially, but what about, were you able to take advantage of, let's say, the PPP or the EIDL, or were your employees able to get PUA?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be in any way sarcastic to all of this. It's minor. I would love to sit with one of the economic advisors and do the math over how a small or medium or large size business is being run. The help we received was mediocre, insufficient, and unacceptable. I don't have more to say. It's a joke.
Yeah, but you're a bar owner, and just to play devil's advocate here, I don't know, with these businesses that lost money during the lockdown, it's kind of hard to go back and leverage and talk about the spread of the virus and what the governor had to or had to not do. But I'm just saying that from, the average Joe or Josefa Cruz out here, listening to an owner of a bar talk about how his business should have been allowed to remain open during all this. It just, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were kind of like, huh?
Well, Chris, this action isn't brought just based on Mr. Peinhoff's problem. It's a alleged class action.
Right.
So we're here for all businesses, big and small.
No, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking the question to ask it. I'm not saying I feel one way or the other.
Chris, I'm sorry to jump in real quick. You mentioned an average show. I don't know how an average show looks to you, but I can assure you, I'm not leading a fancy lifestyle, and I'm trying to protect whatever is left. And all the savings are gone. I love this island. It's beautiful. I would love to continue. If there is no help, then there won't be any choices, any options for people to go and do what they like to do.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So average shows will go away.
Right. Tom or Rachel, maybe you can kind of just break this down for people that are listening, that this isn't about the shady lady or live house or me wanting to go party it up at the bar. It's really about businesses that have suffered tremendously during this pandemic, and how they feel that their constitutional rights have been violated by this shutdown order or lockdown.
That's correct.
Stay home. And if you could kind of just explain that.
Rach?
I'm looking
And
at
why
Tom.
we are where we are with this lawsuit today. Tom?
Well, I guess I'll address that. It's not merely about one business owner. It's about the entire community. As Tom just very eloquently put it, you know, everybody's pretty much on their, if they're not on their last leg, they're on their back foot right now. And this is an allegation of class, and we want the entire economy to open up. It won't answer the mail just to open up a specific type of business. We depend upon all sorts of businesses, and it's not just the ability to go into a store and buy something. It's also the ability to pay taxes, so the government can continue to function. It's so we can continue to fund the police department. I know that Steve Ignacio was on right before. In large part, almost entirely, the government is functioning upon monies it's collecting from the individual as well as the businesses. You know, that 5% business privilege tax. This is about the economic health of the entire community. And I'd ask Rachel if she's got something to add.
Right?
So I was going to say, thank you. This action is, we need to shift the focus here. And the focus here is on government authority to interfere with legal rights of entities such as businesses that are in this clause. The government has made it very clear in the last 6 months, almost daily, that it has invoked its superpowers under this state of emergency. But to what extent can we allow them to continue to exercise these powers without regard to due process for small businesses, such as Mr. Pinehoff's business, as well as other local small and large businesses? This ability to function without notice as to what constitutes essential business and what does not constitute essential business. It's based really kind of right now at this point, it seems like it's based on the governor's preference, and it shouldn't be. It should be based on criteria that every single small business can look at, and that it's fair across the board. So that's one of the allegations in this class action, is that the orders shutting down what the governor's office deems as non-essential business over the course of 6 months, sporadically, without any real kind of procedure in place or an opportunity to be heard by these businesses. That is what we would like the court to look at and pass judgment on. It's similar to the quarantine challenges that we've been bringing before the court in the Superior Court of Guam, in that the government puts out a directive, and then that directive changes sometimes in the course of overnight. Just recently, we had 2 executive orders issue within 3 days of each other, and then a directive that is contradictory in itself. So that just kind of gives you an example and an idea of if we don't even know what the current operating directive is, how can we be expected to comply with ever-changing orders?
Yeah,
So.
Rach, I totally agree with you on that point, because we've seen it where they'll make an announcement on a Friday, like, hey, this type of business, you can do this, you can do that. And then over the weekend, get in touch with people from that type of business, and they're sitting there holding the bag saying, oh, we're looking at these protocols and making sure we can operate under these new conditions. So, yeah, so much of it has been flying by the seat of our pants. But you know what they say? Oh, we're following the lead of the virus. So it's tough.
And I guess
Did you
that
want to say something?
I was going to say, how confident are you guys that you guys are going to prevail on this, and how much of this lawsuit are you going to be leaning on the decision? I think it was in Pennsylvania, and I think we touched on that a little bit last week.
Yeah, and the damages. So I know that there's damages, right, Tom? Or was it damages or reinstatement of property?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult to hear you, but we are confident in our position. As Rachel was just observing, you know, the governor's designation of what is essential and what is not essential is not particularly rational. It seems to be arbitrary, capricious determinations. We don't think the federal court is going to stand for it. There are decisions coming out across the United States, and we hope here in Guam, that are overturning and lifting these bans on government shutdown. It's not, you know, it's just not sustainable. Chris and Sabrina, when we think about your business, KUAM is dependent upon advertisement and the revenues that generates. If I'm out of business, I can't advertise on KUAM, and so forth and so on. The ripple effect throughout the economy will soon become a tidal wave, and we feel very strongly that the federal court will recognize that.
All right. Well, thanks, Tom, Rachel, and Tom.
Thank you.
We're gonna start calling you Tom 2.0 when we get Tom 1.0 on. Appreciate it. I don't know if you want to stick around, Tom or Rach, but we're going to bring on, we have from Boca Box, Jesse Rosario, from Purebed, Steve Roberto, and from Buckeye Roman De La Cruz, just three small business owners who are going to come on and talk about how their businesses have been, no doubt, impacted by the pandemic. So thank you, Tom and Rach, for joining us. And
Sure
Tom,
thing.
okay, so we'll see you guys. Wash your hands.
Yeah, we'll stick around.
Okay. Who knows? You could get a couple clients by the by the end of the interview. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and unmute Chubby, Steve, and Roman. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning, guys.
I guess we'll just start right with the reaction of